Okay, I did it. We are live and I am so thrilled. I'm just going to turn the incredibly awesome tunes off from the AI music system. Oh my goodness. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It's another episode of Voxsana podcast where we talk about voice. So, singing, speaking, writing, and our fabulous human instrument. My goodness. So intricate, so amazing. And today's episode is going to be really, really, really fun because I have Kimera Morrell on, and I am just so thrilled. She is killing it with music and sync licensing and podcasting and just everything you can ever imagine. She's total inspiration to me because I love seeing females kicking butt in this space. It is thrilling and encouraging, and I know I'm not the only one. So I'm going to read you a bit about Chimera, but really there's no need. You know who she is. You've seen her or heard her somewhere. And then we'll bring her on. And if you have questions, pop them in the chat. I'm always cool with that, and we'll definitely ask them. So I found this one from her LinkedIn. I think it was really cute bio. So, Kimera is on a mission to reshape our idea of a music career and erase the starving musician rite of passage. Her personal success story has led to 20 music revenue streams, probably more than that now, and 40 of what she calls storefronts. Some of those include remote studio gigging, sync licensing, acapella and beat licensing, sample packs, plugins, brand ambassadorship, and more. Kimera is a coach to many prosperous creatives and is a recording artist in her own right. New single just dropped, so hopefully you've checked that out. All right, come on in, Kimera. Come on in,
Hey.
girl.
Oh,
Hey.
thank you for that lovely intro.
Well, you wrote it.
I did, didn't I? I kinda
You did. You did. It
we
was
gotta we
fabulous.
gotta write in third person. We all write our own bios, don't
Isn't
we?
it amazing? Yeah, I know. Thank goodness for ChatGPT because it gets a little less awkward if it's like, "Can you please write me something and then I'll fix it when you're done?"
I named my Chat GPT Tubi because it helps me with YouTube scripting.
Oh, that's so cute.
You know, you
Oh,
can
you're
name it. You can say, like, "Call yourself something."
call yourself something. I love that. That's brilliant. And you've just blown my mind because it's like YouTube scripting. Okay, podcast scripting. That's something rather than going off the cuff and being your own producer and stuff.
It's
Exactly.
just like
Okay, okay.
just 2 great little ideas.
I know, I know. That's technology is here to be our friend. That's what it's for. I want to kick it in with your voice story. Of course, before any interview, I'm creeping and backliking and all kinds of things and everybody I'm talking to. And one of the things that blew my mind was the first time you sang live was in college. Uh, I love this for so many reasons, but I want you to tell us about this story because I think it really will change the way people think about going for music as a career and not having had a ton of experience as a youngster. Go for it.
Yeah, I was, like, terribly shy. And you know what? Like, obviously, my mom is a big influence on me, but I actually would get nervous to sing in front of her because I felt like she
Oh,
had so much vocal training, and I felt like she would think the way I enjoyed singing was, like, technically singing wrong, because she was
yeah.
very musical theater trained, and I was, like, trying to be Christina Aguilera, and just,
Me
like,
too. It's okay.
belting intuitively, like, probably at the time not singing super,
Right.
correctly, but I enjoyed
Mhm.
it. But yeah, I think I was just super shy, and it was actually, college was not the first time I sang live. The first time was, um, senior year of high school. I was
Mhm.
like, "This is my last chance to, like, leave an impact because no one knows who I am this right now." I was, like, first chair trumpet, total tomboy dork, but
Love
I
this.
decided to ask the choir teacher if I could sing the national anthem at the pep rally, and I went out there and belted my brains out, and then for the rest of that year, I would walk down the hallways and people would be like, "It's the singing chick."
Oh my god.
So
Did
that
you
was
audition or did they just trust you and be like, "Sure, why not? Go for
gosh,
it."
I don't remember. I don't remember, but
Amazing.
they said yes to me, which is cool. So, that was
Oh,
the first time, but, about as far as, like, not having a lot of experience and then just going for it, I don't know, I would say it's just never too late. Like, if you love to sing,
mhm.
just just try it. like just go down to the karaoke bar and belt your brains
Mhm.
out and have so much fun. And we're always going to be so surprised with how much love we receive from that, and people,
Right.
giving great feedback. Just go for it.
Just go for it. I love that message. So you just went for it, and you shared a story on Instagram where you signed up for a contest and, like, won first place. So how did this fit in? Was it
Yeah,
right
that's the college story, yeah.
after
That
college?
was, my reinvent myself story, yeah, where I went to a college where like, no one from my high school went there, so I was
Yeah.
total clean slate, no one knew me, whereas, like, a lot of my friends from high school kinda went to colleges with other people from our high school, so, like,
Mhm.
it wasn't a total
Mhm.
clean slate, so I
Mhm.
signed up for the freshman talent show, which was only like a week into school starting.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was so nervous. I was like, this is how I'm going to find people. I'm going to just put myself out there, even though I'm super scared. I went on stage, sang it. And one thing that's funny about stage fright too with me is
Mhm.
like, I like it. I shake. I'm so nervous to go on stage. And it's
Yeah.
And it's about 3 seconds in where I'm fine. I'm, like,
But you need to
just
go through, don't
singing.
hold your notes.
Like, my nerves go out the window, like, about 3 seconds into singing live,
Yeah.
and then it's just, like, exhilarating. But, yeah, I went up there and I sang "Killing Me Softly," and I won first place, and that was wild. I won a college blanket, said my college name on it.
Amazing.
So that was
Amazing.
definitely a big
Yeah.
leap.
And a big nod from life that what you were, was it a secret desire? Did you tell people about it? The singing thing that you how did this come about that it's now your career after that moment?
Well, if you asked me when I was really little what I wanted to be when I grew up, it would be singer. I want to be a singer.
Yes, girl.
Um, but I'm also very practical, and I'm like, I don't think that it's practical to try to be a pop star.
Mm,
So I was really trying to figure out what would be something music related that would be a more practical career. And so I went to
mhm.
school to be a recording engineer. So my
Smart.
background's in recording engineering, and fun fact, I originally wanted to go into, post-production, editing the audio to cartoons. I thought
Oh,
that was so
cute.
much fun, and, like, Foley and
Amazing.
stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But, so I guess singing came back when I realized, as a recording engineering student, I need something to record, so why not record my singing voice?
Look
So
how that worked out.
that
Love it.
that just started to unravel, and posted some stuff on MySpace and started to network on MySpace, and that
Mhm.
kinda started me on a different trajectory, which got me more into the songwriting world.
Excellent, excellent.
Mhm.
Was it a Disney movie that captured your heart in the beginning? Because that's often the story with, um, gals around our age, that was, like, some kinda Disney movie that was like, "Oh, what's this singing thing?"
For singing?
Mhm.
No, not really. I'm not super into Disney, to be honest, but when you said
Oh.
that, my mind thought you meant cartoon editing, and
Well, that too.
my answer would be
Yeah.
WALL-E, 'cause there's
Oh.
actually no dialogue in that whole movie. It's all sound. So cool.
That's oh my gosh, that's right. I haven't seen it for a long time, but when you bring that up, it's like, right. And
Yep.
somehow it's phenomenal. Like, you just wanna keep oh, yeah. So good, and, okay, so it was just music you were listening to and your mom's influence that made you kinda get the singing bug and keep going with it. I love that. Uh, your working singer story is one of my favorites. I'm sure you told it a million times, but let's just recap it here. Your friend offered you $250 to record a demo, and things just
Right.
went. Can you take us through that trajectory of just, it's huge, and there's probably a
Yeah.
few years it covers, but yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I feel like at the time and for many years leading up to that, I was just so laser focused
Mhm.
on this goal that I was gonna write songs for people like Rihanna, Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift. That
Mm.
was the prize, and my eye was stuck on it, and I didn't see anything else in my peripheral vision. And then one day, one of my producers that I had written with for that purpose had a song that he wanted to pitch that he wrote, and he's a male singer, so he wanted it to be in a female voice, so he asked if I could record it as a demo singer, and I was like, "Wait a minute. Like, maybe I could do more of this." And
Mhm.
so that just kind of, had my blinders up, and it just kinda had me going like this, you
Mhm,
know?
mhm, mhm.
And so, yeah, and, started seeking it out. I started vocalizing that that's something I wanted to do. So I was in studios, meeting new people, and I would say, like, I would introduce myself that way. I'd say, "Yeah, I'm a demo singer," and then
Amazing.
you'd be surprised, like, how fast once you spread the word that that's what you do, people start passing your name around and
Mm.
saying, "Hey, oh, I know a demo singer," and then they refer you, and so it just started to grow. And then once I got on the platforms online, that's when it really exploded.
Wow. Wow, 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 and if I'm remembering, I'm just gonna flip back to your bio for a second. 20 music revenue streams and 40 storefronts. So, I imagine that came over time, you added more and more and more, or was
Yeah,
it just a couple and then a big boom of adding a whole bunch? How does that look for you in that respect?
I guess it was really over the course of, like, 4 years
Wow.
of trying new things. I mean, I was really, really focused on, I would say, demo singing
Mhm,
and sync licensing. Sync
mhm.
licensing is a little bit of a slower build, but it's really a great thing to get into. And then I start asking the questions, like, "Well, how else can I make money with my voice?" And that's when I just kinda started trying everything, and I do have more now. I definitely have closer probably to, like, 26 revenue streams,
Wow.
but I wanna say, all of like, as cool as that sounds, they're not all the most awesome, and also,
Mhm,
there is something to be said about spreading yourself kinda thin, like, and not nurturing any one revenue stream isn't gonna grow it that much. So one of my streams that maybe I would say isn't as lucrative for me is somebody else's number 1 stream because they put all their attention onto it. So I
mhm,
think that, um, even though I have that many, I'm scaling back for sure. I'm finding out, like, which ones, A, I enjoy the most, and
mhm.
B, pay me in the way I like, and kind of starting to push other things away and just focus more on the things that have been working really well for me.
Mhm. I feel like that's a theme in a lot of what you share is, like, follow what feels good if we're really bringing it down and simplifying
Mhm.
it, and I love that message so much because a lot of times in this space, there's a fear, scarcity, lack mentality where you see someone on a platform, you think you should be there too because you might miss out on something when you don't have the bandwidth to actively participate in those platforms, so I
Mhm.
love that you said, scaling back. There's a question in that is if you had to do it all over again, what are your top 3 or top 5 streams that you have found that focusing on is actually to your strengths?
I say demo singing,
Mhm,
which kinda comes hand in hand with custom songwriting, because the clients are kind of the same. Either you write the
mhm.
song and record it or you just record it. My second would be sync licensing, and then my third would be acapella licensing.
That's an interesting one because I'd not heard of acapella licensing until I found your stuff, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Really?" So tell me about this. How did you get into it? And is it as lucrative? It must be. It's one of your top streams, so the floor is yours. Tell us all about this.
Well, it's interesting because it's a longer play. It's
Mm,
not it's not like something I rely on heavily for, like, monthly income, but
mhm.
it's more like long term. And an example would be, um, first of all, what even is acapella licensing, right?
Right,
It's
right.
you sell the right to use one of your a cappella recordings and you price it pretty low so that you can sell it to many, many people. These are
Okay.
non-exclusive,
Mhm.
meaning many people can buy it. So even though it's like $40 per license, tons of people are buying that. And my top seller, I mean, if we do a little math, see here, like
Why not? Love
like
this.
my top seller, this is just on one website because I'm on several websites. I've sold 77 downloads of this
Wow.
one. So, that comes to over 3 grand for one song. Whereas in demo singing,
Oh my god.
you
Yeah.
get paid right away, which is exciting. So that's why, that's like the instant gratification money. So
Yeah.
I think it's great for people who are trying to build up fast. But like acapella licensing is my longer term play because
Mhm.
it took a while to get to 3 grand, but
Mm.
one song did that. And
Yeah.
that's that's about 10 times what I charge for a demo song.
Right.
So, even though like maybe my monthly sales don't look at that high, it's the residual income that I'm excited about because
Mhm.
once it builds, because it just compounds. Once it builds, like in the future, I'm gonna be able to take less demo singing gigs because my acapellas are selling enough. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, and it's gonna continue. It's not just 3 grand, it's gonna continue to sell and sell and sell and sell until you take it down or whatever.
Yeah.
It's gonna
And
continue. Love that.
And again, that's just one website. I work with
Mhm.
several different websites and I sell on my own website. But yeah, I would say also like sync licensing is a similar thing because that is also some residual income. So you get your
Mhm.
quarterly royalty statement 4 times a year, and those royalties start to grow over time, and
Mhm.
like and you also get big upfront fees. So, but they're so hit or miss. It's not like
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's something I could go full time with sync licensing.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So how does the acapella this is one of the questions that one of my singers had. She's like, "Please ask Kimera this question." So I
Mhm.
will. Sonia, I'm asking. Sync licensing and acapellas, does it happen that or does someone have to take your acapella, make a song, and sell it to the sync licensing? And then in that respect, do you make any royalties off of that? Or is it a one and done
Well,
sale?
some of the platforms that you sell acapellas on are completely royalty free. So you would
Mhm.
not get any royalties
Got
on
it.
like if someone put out your song,
Mhm.
your acapella on one of their tracks. You would not get
Got it.
anything. Um,
Mhm.
on your own website, you make up the rules, right? So you can
Mhm.
say like by buying this license, you also agree to give me half of anything you make with it,
Exactly.
which is totally something you can do.
Mhm.
But with sync licensing, uh, I doubt that you would get any placements with your acapella licenses because there's going to be a lot of content ID issues if they know
Mhm.
that this is a non-exclusive vocal and like this vocal has been used on so many different
Exactly.
things. It's going to be so hard for them to track your royalties because you might think that someone else's song is your song, but it's not. So it's like, oh crap, how would you just so honestly, uh
Yeah.
a sync licensing agent wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. So it's just honestly, it's just not. I think it's a non-issue. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Got it.
Sorry, Sonia. I hope that answers your question.
I think you did. I think you did. She was on the right track, and she's like, "Wait a minute, what about this?" So
That's a
that
great
is
question, though. Yeah, like
super yeah, yeah, yeah. So one of your videos, you were so candid and honest about burnout, and about your ER experience, and, people can watch that video for what happened, but basically you were outputting too much and not focusing on vocal health. So and your health just in general. So I wonder if you could share a couple lessons about that experience. And also too, like that brings me to I saw some videos with vocal elixirs that you are making. And so it really just seems to tie in burnout and self-care. What can you share about that with us?
yeah, I would say the burnout that I was experiencing actually wasn't vocal health. My
Mhm.
my voice was was rocking. Like,
I bet.
I mean, I'm like a professional warmer upper, but
Excellent.
when you know, I'm voice exercising like every day accidentally through my recording.
Yeah.
But it was more a stress thing and just
Mhm.
doing too much, powering through when I was tired. Um
Mhm.
more physically and
Got it.
mentally than vocally somehow.
That's amazing.
I don't
That's
know.
good
I
to know
think
for touring.
when you do stuff like this as a career, you just become like a vocal superhero and your voice just, I don't know.
I love this.
Definitely like protect your voice as much as you can. You prioritize that and you like, I don't know how like Broadway singers,
Mhm.
they're just beasts. They can sing all freaking day and
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible. Um but yeah, I definitely learned that I need to scale back even when I'm excited. Like, 'cause a lot of times I power through because I'm excited and I'm
Mhm.
loving what I'm working on. I'm excited to get paid.
Yeah, of
But I
course, of
know
course.
yeah, but I know that there's nothing wrong with pushing that project till tomorrow. If you record 2 songs and you're planning on recording a third, but you're kind of wavering on tired, push it till tomorrow. I
Nice.
I actually, in one of my videos, my anti-day in the life
Love that
of a
one.
singer,
Love one.
because
Yeah.
there's no, like, every day is the same.
Mhm.
I figured out how to plan my days. It's not for me, it's not a matter of, like, scheduling, like, "Okay, these songs will be done on this day, and then this project will be done on this day." It's more fluid for me. I call it process cycling, where I say these 3 songs need to get done next, and then this project needs to get done after that. And as long as it's prioritized in order, I'm
Mhm.
okay with things taking another day or getting pushed till tomorrow because I still do a lot in one day. And one day I probably try to do a lot in one day, and what I write down on the Post-it note gets to be a little too ambitious, and then I just
Yeah.
push it till
Over
tomorrow.
planner, yeah, I get it, I get it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm recovering over planner too.
Mhm. Another thing I learned, when I was super slammed is that one thing that really tires me out the most
Mhm.
is dealing with difficult clients and dealing with
Um,
projects that are soul sucking, and I'm just like, they're so transactional, and, like, maybe they have, like, all kinds of, revisions and comments that, of something they don't like about my performance. Like, when I'm working with people like that, like, I think that drains me more than anything. And
yeah.
so being okay with exiting a project if it's just really not working out. So I have had songwriting gigs where they don't like what I wrote, and I'm like, well, I don't
Mhm.
feel like writing another song to the same track. So I'm just going to give you a refund and walk away because
Smart.
I'm
Yep.
I'm just over it.
They're not your people, so that's fine. They're gonna
50%,
find someone else.
50% refund, mind you, sorry, 50% refund.
Got it, girl. I like the
I already
caveat.
wrote
That's
you a
nice.
song.
Exactly, exactly. I showed up and I did what I said I was gonna do, and you gave me the
Mm.
instructions, so I'm with you on that. Yeah, so prioritizing voice, I really wanna dig into that because we're a show about voice. So and I know every day for you is different, but when you have a singing day, walk me through what it means to get ready to show up to the mic. Is it tea? Is it steam? Is it healthy foods? All of the above? Exercise? Like, what are we looking at for you to stay in top shape vocally?
I'm gonna give you the least,
Love it. Love it. I can't wait.
PC answer. Girl, I sing like this half the time. I'm like, my upper body is fine, right?
Breaking
My
those rules.
posture from here.
Yes.
No, no, I can be unconventional for sure. I start my day with coffee and
Me too.
cream. Um,
Oh, wow,
definitely.
Kareem, you rebel.
Oh yeah, like, come on, guys. It's like so minuscule the difference it makes on your voice,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I think that, um, vocal health stuff. One thing that has made a dramatic difference, which I didn't realize how big of an impact it was having, is alcohol. I got rid of alcohol, and my voice absolutely improved. Definitely could
Wow.
perform for longer, less dry.
Mhm.
Um, I also live in California. It's sort of a dry climate, so
Mhm.
definitely contributes, which is wild. Have you ever gone to like somewhere tropical and you're like, wow, I can
Mhm.
like sing
I
a lot.
know. It's
It's
fabulous.
like
I was on a
very
cruise ship and
humid.
I was like, "This is what is going on here? I don't have to chug so much water. This is amazing. I feel superhuman." Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It makes a difference.
But
Yeah.
then I like to get a workout done in the beginning of the day. I think movement is so important.
Mhm.
Singing is physical, so taking care of our physical bodies is really important. Um and then just I just kind of jump in, and I just use this app called
Yeah.
Warm Me Up, the app. I think it was like $3. And
And it just makes up warm-ups for you? Like, just
yeah.
randomly, or you have one that you follow?
Um no, it's got a couple different things, and one I think I have it set. You can set your register, right? And I think I
Mm.
have it set to a baritone because I like starting low. I think I have a lowish voice, and
Mhm.
so I really like starting with the low area, and so I follow the baritone, and then there's, like, different settings. It can recommend slower starts. It can all the way up to, like, vocal acrobatics, I think, and so, um, you can star your favorite ones, and then I think at this point I've starred my favorites, and then I just go to my favorites folder and just go through 'em.
Do them.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's it really, and then yeah. I mean, tea here and there, yeah, is
Mhm.
always nice. Water, staying hydrated.
Mhm. Mhm. I love this.
Yeah.
What I love the most about your story is that there isn't a laundry list of must-dos or I will not be able to sing
No,
because that yeah.
I think that we're in a time, sorry, this might be a little political, but I think we're
Go
in a
for it.
time where people just wanna tell you what to do just to tell you what to do, and people wanna
Mhm.
be told what to do, and
Mhm.
it's not that freaking serious, like we're very nitpicky with how
Correct.
to do things properly. Like,
Mhm.
you find your way. And if you feel that, if you didn't warm up, you really don't sound the same as when you do warm up, listen to that. Do so
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I just feel like I don't know, I just feel like everyone's like, "This is how you do this," and there's always a new
Yeah.
course and a new how to
Mhm.
how to do it right, and the way you've been doing it this whole time that you learned from that guy is actually wrong, so we need to tell so it's
Right?
just like,
That's common. Oh,
chill
that's
out,
everywhere. Mhm.
you're probably doing it right.
Yeah. I like that the direction, if there is one, is tune back in. If it works for
Mhm.
you, if you need it.
Yeah, how does it
I often
feel?
hear about Broadway stars, like, they do the neti pot and the steam and the this and then that, and they must have salad with this on it, and it's like, that feels not very joyful to me. I feel like I would hate that. But if it works for you, do you.
Yeah,
And
but to some, that's
mm
like a self-love ritual, and that's totally
exactly.
fine. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. It's the so in this space is often that hypervigilant fear again, it's everywhere. Fear, lack, scarcity, hypervigilance, and I love your message of just it's chill. It's good to
Yeah,
tune
yeah,
in with
yeah,
yourself. You
and
can do all the things or none of the things.
you probably don't need half the supplements that you have in your
Oh my god.
like, there's just always,
Oh.
some magical fix in a bottle.
Mhm.
It's just not true.
No.
Yeah,
No.
what
It's
w
not.
drink things yeah, I have this video on, like, how I make, different elixirs for the
I
voice, and it's
love
like, just,
those.
like,
Yeah.
what's a very moisturizing element that I could add to a fun drink,
Mhm.
Um, chia
Mhm.
seeds full of antioxidants, and when they soak in water, they get all, like, this gel-like I
Mhm.
love that, like, adding, blending fruits like melon that are like just so water dense. It's yeah, it's I've taken a step away from like all the crazy tinctures and all that because I just feel like just just use vegetables and fruits. They
Right?
have everything you need in them.
It's so simple, and I will say, like, when we were talking about the questions, you're like, "I'm not sure, vocal health, we can talk about it, but I'm not a vocal coach," and that's why I wanted to bring it up with you because I'm like, we need to hear from more people that are doing it, that, there isn't a right way and a laundry list unless you want a laundry list because a right way is very personal, and I love that you
Yeah.
sit cross-legged and you just show up after coffee and cream. Oh, love it. So
I
good.
somehow still sound okay. Who
Right? You
knew?
sound
It doesn't ruin
amazing.
everything to have a cup of
No,
coffee in the morning.
no,
It's fine. Live your
no.
life.
Live your life,
You know
exactly.
what? And yes, I say that, like, alcohol, removal definitely made I could feel the difference in my voice,
Mm.
but sometimes it's fun to have champagne with a session. Go for it. Like, who cares?
Oh,
Like, does it sound okay?
sounds amazing. If it works, it works, right? Speaking of your, we're talking about your voice a lot, and I'm always curious to talk to singers about finding their sound. That's the biggest one as a vocal
Mm.
coach that you get from the students is like, "What's my voice? What's my sound?" So I'm curious what your story is with your sound because you just released a banging song.
Thank
It's
you.
always in my head. Oh my god, it's always in my head in the day, like, I'm just doing the dishes and like, "King me." I'm like, "Okay, this is super, super catchy."
Thank
So,
you.
you're it's super honest feedback. It's a wonderful song, and, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
How did you find this?
Plug, new single, King Me, on Gala Music, exclusively on the Gala Music streaming service.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not posting it to Spotify at all. Maybe slightly boycotting
You
that, but
rebel. You
any
rebel. Love it.
but, I'm probably the I'm the worst person to ask about finding my voice because I feel like I feel slightly schizophrenic about what my voice is
I was
like.
wondering, you do so many different kinds
I
of styles and
The thing is, I would say, if I were to actually give someone advice on, like, how to find their tone and what they like, a
Mhm,
great way to do that and discover that is to listen to other famous artists or whoever and mimic them, pretend to be them.
mm,
Find different placement in your mouth, like, find different tones. Try to and the easiest way to do it is just think, pretend to sing like so and so.
yeah,
Right? And as you do that and you try to sing like other people, you realize like, "Ooh, that sounds good on me." And that's a great way to find a tone that you really like. I wanna say, recording is such a huge tool for
right?
that because as much as you're just singing along in the car,
Mhm,
if you have actual feedback you can listen back to, that will inform you even better, you know? "Oh, that's what it sounds like," playing back, that'll help you find what you like even faster.
mhm,
I've done this over time and, I really did start my career with the intention to write songs for other artists. So I was always like trying on different artist voices in a way, different tones and styles and genres. And
mhm.
I think just after how long have I been recording? Oh, damn near 20 years.
Wow.
No,
Yeah,
like more like 16 probably. Um, more like 16 years.
yeah.
That's a lot of practice, and I just
Mhm,
feel really good at what I do and confident
mhm,
in what I do, that when I hear different tones that I'm able to do, I like them all. I just want to be a million people. I feel like that's probably why my artist career could never go anywhere because I was changing my mind all the time of what I
Yeah.
wanted to sound like and
Mhm,
what genre I liked. And so this discovery of all these revenue streams is really was a way for me to finally have permission to be all these things and like
mhm.
sync licensing alone, like I you can write so many different genres and just slap a different moniker on it, and it's so much fun. It's like real freedom to just create whatever I want. So
Mhm.
I don't have a voice like any one thing that I would say represents who I am in one song, like in one sound. I
Mhm.
can't say that because I just do so many things. So
That's wonderful. That's
that's where
wonderful. You're
I'm
not
at.
limited. Yeah, you're not limiting, right? If we use the analogy of a painter, you're not limiting what colors you can play with. You wanna
Mhm.
play with all the colors.
And
So tell me about yeah, go ahead.
some people are so solid in who they are, and
Mhm.
I admire that and almost can be envious of it sometimes. I'm like, "Wow, that person, like, that is their sound and they
Yeah,
kill it." And
yeah.
that's the only sound that they do, and that's really cool too, like,
Mhm,
but I just wanna put that out there, like, if you're the type of person who likes to sing many genres,
mhm.
you're allowed to do that.
And this is the perfect way. You've just outlined how, I mean, you can certainly experiment on your albums and things, but why not try Sync likes to sing and
Mhm.
put your voice out there in different ways? So, I have so many questions. Oh my goodness, and we gotta hustle here, Jill. Come on now. Your songwriting is just next level, and you did have a stint where you worked with Sony ATV. So, talk to me about your songwriting. And I imagine a lot of it was influenced in that period, but maybe I'm completely off base and how that actually relates to your new single. So, like, take us through the whole
Oh
genre of
gosh.
songwriting. I know, big one, big, huge one.
Songwriting journeys, I would say, when I was, like, little,
Mhm.
I figured out rhyming, and
Nice.
I would write a poem a day, just like
Wow.
A, B, A, B, and I just would, like, always, I realized, like, I figured out that there's a meter to da 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 da
Mhm.
da da da, and, like,
Mhm.
I had that ingrained in me early, and so I like patterns and rhyming, and so I would say it started lyrically in a way, poetry, and then when I got to college, I met another producer who, or I met a producer who was, like, the first producer I discovered who made some tracks and was like, "Hey, I wrote this beat. Do you wanna sing something on it?" And that just blew my mind because I, like, didn't know it existed, and I was like, "Wait, so I can take my poems, make melodies, and sing them on your song? Whoa, like, that's wild." So,
Whoa.
like, yeah,
So
mind
good. Yeah.
exploded. Um, and then there was also the whole, "Okay, if I wanna be a recording engineer, I need something to record," and so I started recording and writing my own songs there. Um, and I think a big shift happened with the songwriting in, like, my junior year of college. I was in a girl group that I got fired from. Um,
It was probably the best thing ever looking back, but at the time sucked,
it
right?
was a great learning experience. I
Mhm.
learned a lot from Louis Bell, who is, like, an
Mhm.
incredible producer. He was one of the people developing us, and when I got let go, I had this little fire in me, and I was like, "What do they have that I don't?" And I'm like, "Oh, the songs were fire, so I need to get some fire songs." And
Mhm.
I already, record myself, not that my engineering skills were any good yet, and I just started, recording. I went on MySpace and posted my first few songs. I don't know how
Mhm.
I found people on there, but I found other producers who made beats, and I just messaged them, and they were just as bad as me, and we just were bad together. Like, and then little by little, you just get better and better. Collaboration and co-writing,
Yeah.
definitely I learned so much, under Mr. Taj Jackson, taught me
Wow.
so much about vocal arrangement, um, and yeah, just over time, it's just a muscle you keep working,
Yeah.
and being at Sony was kinda like I was thrown in the fire, and I didn't know what I was doing, but it definitely
Mhm.
put me in some cool rooms. I definitely got to witness a lot of great songwriting. And I just think that they say that, you become the people you surround yourself with. So I was definitely surrounded by people who were better than me, and I think that made me a lot better. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, up until now, well, this is I mean, to ask me my entire songwriting journey is a huge question, but,
It's a huge question. Yeah.
um, it's ever evolving,
Mhm.
you know? I don't wanna say that I've arrived at any conclusion
That's where I was
because
going with that one. I'm
it's
glad you said
always
that.
yeah, it's always
Yeah.
shifting, and sync licensing was a whole new chapter of songwriting because
Mhm.
um it's heavily involved in, like, writing what people want you to write, kind of. It's
Got it.
you kinda
Mhm.
gotta write what will work in a
Mhm.
commercial. So you
Mhm.
gotta be malleable, and that's when you transition from a hobbyist to a professional, is when you can not just write entirely from inspiration, but listen to what the client needs
Mhm.
and adjust. And I think that's a really big skill when you can listen to a song, a famous song, notice things about it that you like,
Mhm.
how the melodic shape is, how fast it is, and then you can apply those same shapes and things that you liked about it to a whole new track.
Mhm.
That is key to sync licensing writing. Um, but yeah, and to arrive at my new single, the new
Yeah.
single was kind of just a I needed to get back to my own passion a little bit. I was definitely catering to clients a lot and felt a little creatively starved in a way, and I just needed to write something that no one told me what I should say. I use swear words. That's
Love it.
something that you're not allowed to do in sync. And I just was like, I'm just gonna express how I feel. And
Uh,
and even, the second verse, it's like got a completely personal story in it that's not relatable necessarily.
it's
It's just
wonderful.
me being me and doing what I want. So I think that's important to remember if you're really, really going for a a career where you make money with your songwriting, don't forget about what brought you to it in the first place, which is that this was your journal, and you need to keep writing in your journal. So reserve that time to be
Mhm.
creative for yourself only and not have any expectation for that song to make you money.
That's so good, and you're just, like, segueing to my next question, which is,
Mhm.
your admission that you've quit music a couple times because of the relationship. What I assume is what you're just saying is you forgot about yourself in the whole mixture of things. So, talk to me about quitting music and mindset around how you shifted back into music and maybe some pointers on how, what is abundance mindset? What is success mindset? All that kinda good stuff.
Well, I wouldn't say that the reason I quit
Mhm.
was because you can't quit. You can't do
You can't quit.
it.
That's the fun part. You can't do
The
it. You can
the
try.
the hiatuses were business related. They weren't
Mm.
that I wasn't feeling creatively expressed, and it actually was when I quit
Mm.
that I probably was making more music for myself.
Oh, interesting.
But it was just the tough stuff behind the scenes with the business. And, you know, I was signed to a major publishing deal with Sony, and I was signed with people that I wasn't happy with, and
Mhm.
it was a very tough time, and it made me feel like shit. Excuse me, am I allowed to
Mm.
swear on
No,
here?
you're allowed to say it's my fucking podcast. You can swear all you want. There you go.
Yeah, so I felt like just the it just made me feel like I was never good enough and I would never write a
Mhm.
hit song, and
Mm.
I was like, "What do you mean I've written, like, 100 songs?" At the time.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's, like, thousands, but, like, at the time, they're like, "Yeah, you don't have any hits," and I'm like, "I'm done. I'm done." If I
Mhm.
like, I've
Mhm.
been, like, emotionally beat up enough, feeling like I'm not good enough.
Mhm.
If y if, you know, if someone wants to tell me that I don't have anything worthy, then I'm what am I doing? I don't wanna be
Mhm.
here then, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And it just, the business can make you question whether this was the right direction you wanted to go. Like, we set out to do music for our career because we think, how fun would that be? You get to make music every day, but when you take your passion and you add that need to have it feed you, you start making sacrifices with your passion. You start to, you know, write songs you don't really want to write, record the song you don't really like. I do, like, I love all my clients, but sometimes I get a song I don't really like,
Yeah.
but I'll record it for you for a price, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that there there's something too about being an artist and being a creative person where I don't know what it is, but it makes us highly sensitive,
Mhm. Mhm.
and your emotions are attached to every song, and you
Mhm.
care about every song, and so if someone's, like, telling you the thing that you just made that you love isn't good, oof, that's so
Stings.
hard.
Stings.
So I eventually just needed to say, "I'm out," and I thought, I'll take a big break from music, maybe I'll make music for just for myself, just for
Mhm.
fun, but I'm not gonna worry about it paying my bills because this is too emotionally tough
Mhm.
and competitive, and but then you write something in that time. I guess maybe there was magic to that time where I was like, "Okay, there's no expectation on this music,"
Mhm.
that maybe that's when I wrote some of my best stuff. And then when I played it for other industry people, they're like, "You gotta run with this." And I'm like, "Okay,
Nice.
maybe I'll go back in the door, and see what I can do
Oh,
with this." So there's always, we all have our own stories of
yeah.
kind of walking away, and for a
Mhm.
lot of people I know, it's they tried, they didn't make any money, and so they decided to go into a full-time job or full-time career that was non-musical, and now they're maybe in a more financially comfortable place, so they wanna kinda, like, come back a little and
Back in, exactly. Yep.
see what's up?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get that.
So
You can't quit. We just said you
yeah.
gotta find some way and you don't wanna quit, right? I think that's the message here is, like, we got the music bug as kiddos usually, most of us, and it
Mm.
doesn't go away.
One thing
So
I've been practicing is we imagine what we want our future to look like, right? We
Mhm.
imagine, the life we want, um, and I do that a lot, but I realize that I put it out there in the future when I could have bring elements of it into the now,
Mhm.
and I hear myself say, and I hear other artists say this as well, who are hustling and doing the demo singing and doing the sync licensing.
Mhm.
We all say the same thing. We say, "I wanna hustle this music so that I can make enough money to be able to write whatever I want and just make it fun again."
Mhm.
Like, 'cause of residual income, you know, those
Mhm.
royalties, once they add up, like, you can, like, take a step back. But we put that in our future. And
Yeah.
so King Me is an
Mhm.
example of how I'm trying to bring the future into my present, and
Nice.
I'm trying to make time to live the future life now. And the
Mm.
maybe I don't have, millions of dollars, but I can schedule 3 hours to myself to write a song that's what I want for my future. I can do that. I can do that now,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I wanna leave that with the audience too. think about the life you want in the future, that you place in the future. Aren't there things that you can have today? Like literally today? Can't you be doing some of those things?
Wow. I mean, I'm literally doing one right now with you. This is pretty freaking awesome. Fucking awesome. It's my podcast. I'll swear if I want
It's my pod.
to. I think that's such an important message. Is you're right. When we dream of the singing dream, it's always so far in the future, and we convince ourselves it's going to take a lot of hard work and it's going to be a lot of years, and I can't do any of those fun things until I arrive at this magical spot. But you just said you can schedule 3 hours and write King Me so you can have a friggin'
Yeah.
single that kicks ass. You can do that now. And that's the mindset piece that I really want. Again, you said I want the audience to take it away. And so do I. Is like that mindset piece. Like you can show up to this game and with a scarcity mindset and you want to quit in a couple months because it's not working, or you can show up and write the same songs with a different mindset. It's going to feel way more fun, way more creatively invigorating. And I imagine too, if you believe in manifesting, whatever you want to call that word, it will probably come, the goods will come with that abundance mindset. Is there anything you can share about abundance in music? Because you're not just like pulling in a couple dollars a month here. You're doing it. You're kicking ass at it. So what can you say to that?
Gosh. Well, one thing I do want to say is that let's try to catch ourselves from saying I'll be happy when, and ask ourselves, how can I be happy now? And abundance mindset to me is just really simple. It's just feeling like you have enough. And I am saving up for a house. I want to buy a house. And I catch myself in a scarcity mindset when I'm like, I don't have enough for a house. That's me focusing on not having enough. But when I look at, my income and my bank account, I'm like, I am super comfortable right now. Like right now, I'm good. I am good. And so God knows I want a house. I put it out there. I've said it. It's out there. But I'm going to try to focus more on what I do have now and being happy and grateful for what I do have now. I think that's how and it sounds so weird and simple, but I think that's how I'll get into a house faster. I'll get into a house faster if I'm grateful for what I do have, and instead of focusing on the fact that I do not have the house yet.
Exactly. And you'll have more joy because focusing on the not haves just feels bad. Like it's not a good experience at all. So that makes sense to me. It resonates with me. So I'm sure other people will be like, damn girl. Yeah.
I'm all for striving for big goals and trying to identify like what are the steps to take to get there. But yeah, the mindset's really important. Like you said, you need to, going after a goal, being worried about not having it yet is just going to make it a horrible experience.
Just awful. Just awful. Yeah. You, speaking of that, Singer Success Path and all the wonderful courses that you've created for other singers that are interested in doing what you do, it's all on your website, kimeramorrell.com, and you can find it through Googling the Singer Success Path as well. But is there one particular course that you would recommend for people just getting started and just hearing this podcast and realizing that they can make money from singing? Is there one specific course that you would be like, that one, if it calls to you, this is the one that I suggest for beginner people looking to come and demo singing or whatever, however it looks?
Well, to make it even simpler, I have a free list of 35 revenue streams. So even just taking a moment and looking at that list, and you might see things on that list and you're like, oh, I can do that. It might open Pandora's box for you.
Oh, That's the perfect answer. It's like, you
Yeah.
get to that's what I'm hearing from your conversation is like, please everybody tune into yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you can do what I did and it might work for you, but if it doesn't resonate, don't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And so I do have courses for if you are sure that you know that you wanna go into demo singing and custom songwriting, I have a mini course for that.
Yeah.
If you wanna do I call it the vocal tools, which is acapella licensing, sample packs, making vocal plugins, that's another mini course, and then I have a sync licensing mini course. But if I were to recommend something easier to get into if you're still trying to figure it out. I it's 50% off right now too. It's just my quick start guide.
Nice.
It's just a video guide and a breakdown of all of the 35 revenue streams to give
Mm.
you a more informed, you know, outlook on what each stream does. And I also talk about like how they pay and I call
Mm.
these I have this funny thing, I call them paters, paters of analysis. They're like faders, but of
Nice, nice.
basically is when you're evaluating each stream, I want you to think about how fast you get paid, how much you get paid, and is it or is it not residual, and like how long this income is going to continue from this
Mm.
one stream. And that's kind of why demo singing is one of my favorites because it pays you now, it pays you the fastest and the largest,
Mhm.
but it's only once. So you have to show up to work to make the money.
Ah.
Whereas acapellas and sync licensing, you can record a song one time and it will pay you a smaller amount, but over a long amount of time, that can actually add up to be even more than the demo singing gig can pay you.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's like, I need money right now. If you need money right now, start with demo singing. If you're ready to start your longevity play, get into
Mhm.
sync licensing and other residual income streams. And if you want to learn how to record your vocals at home, I also have a free workshop called My Recording Routine. You can see that right on my website too. And you can learn my 5-step routine to recording vocals. I use Pro Tools only.
Mhm.
Sorry. Don't no, I don't use Logic, but
It's awesome. I've taken it and it's a lot easier than some of us might think. It
yeah,
really is. There's a huge technology barrier for some of us, but trust me, I knew very little and I watched it and I was like, "Oh, that's it. Okay, great. That's not as hard as I would have imagined. This is brilliant." I'm sure there's a rabbit hole of things you can go
yeah,
into, but the basics are pretty basic. So,
yeah.
well done. Well done. I'm gonna be mindful of your time, girl. I hate to say goodbye, but,
Yeah,
I wanna make
this
sure
was
that you
so
keep with your
fun.
beautiful schedule, so thank you so much for being here. This was awesome, 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 and, I'll make sure people check out your website and on Instagram.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having
Okay.
me. Amazing
My
podcast.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. Oh, she's lovely, hey? Loving her. I forgot to tell her she can leave the studio or hang out. She's just in the wings right now. Thank you everybody for watching. As always, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat, but I have zillions. I Let me just see how many I sent to Kimera, like, oh my god. Well, it says 18, but then there's A, B's, and C's for some of them, so my goodness. There's so much we wanna know, and what I love so much is we're all talking about it, and, uh, the one takeaway I will say is that we're all talking about it, and we all have different information, and use discretion and find what works for you. That's the theme of today's chat. So, I really, really wish you all the best in your music careers if that's you. If you're speaking, however that looks, you can still use some of these tools with speaking. We do podcasts, for goodness sakes. There it is. There's the speaking voice on the microphone. So, and you need recording equipment. So it does apply. Until next time, have the very, very, very best